All right, so we are pretty much ready to go back in the water. You're gonna have your stuffing box leaking, so I gotta adjust it real quick. All right, now that is what a clean dinghy is supposed to look like. All right, so we are pretty much ready to go back in the water. Right before we splash, there's a few things that we do. I make sure that I go around and I close all the seacocks, so that just in case whatever, I can control it, because you can't be on the boat while it's going in the water. So I can control it if something were to go wrong and there was a hose that got dry rotted or anything. I already checked all the hoses, so what I did was I went around and I actually squeezed all of the hoses, make sure all the way up, make sure I looked at them, felt them, there's no fraying, there's no dry rot, there's nothing like that. And yeah, I'm just gonna go around, close all the through holes, so that once we're in the water, when we get in, we go ahead and move over to a slip. I can go ahead and then open them up one by one, make sure there's no leaks, make sure there's no hoses being broken or anything like that, and hopefully it should all go off without a hitch. So pretty much cleaned up everything I need to clean up. I have a few things still here in the cockpit that go down in the lazarette, but since I replaced the stuffing, since we did the work on the stuffing box, I want to go ahead and leave all that out, so that as soon as we get in the water, that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to check the stuffing box and make sure that that it's not just going to be pouring water into the boat. So it's dry, so it's gonna leak a little bit, so I have to let it leak a little bit, which I hate letting things leak on purpose. So that's it, and then we're gonna be ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and close all these seacocks and secure everything on the deck so that nothing falls off while they're transporting it. Put the child back down. It was up sideways so that we have more deck space, and take the cords off and the hose down and all that, so we can get over there. And once we get over there, we're gonna give her a thorough cleaning, because as you saw, that tree out there, just doesn't matter how many times we clean it, next day come back covered with leaves. So so hopefully we won't have to worry about that. So let's do this. Let's close it up and let's get ready to go back in the water. Ooh, oh my God.
Well, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you. Thank you for everybody who continued watching, who reached out to us, who were so helpful for us. These past 9 months that we unexpectedly spent on the yard really showed us how important you guys are to us. And I also want to say thank you to Indiantown Marina. They were great. Their workers were so polite, so professional. It really sealed the deal for me once again on why we keep using this marina to haul out. So now it's time for us to keep going. Let's give this a try. Here's goes to try 2 of heading to the Caribbean. And let's get started.
Okay, so this is the nerve-wracking part. Don't know why, but it always freaks me out. Ooh, she floats. All right, so as in every boat, when you put it back in the water, you're gonna have your stuffing box leaking. So I gotta adjust it real quick. So I kind of need both hands for this, but what I use is I use my channel locks and I use my stuffing box tool. So I grab this one, loosen this one up, spin this, tighten this down, and then tighten this back up as soon as it stops. Now it's supposed to drip a little bit because that's what keeps it lubricated. Now we're good to go. Some of the other things we check here is we check to make sure the bilge isn't filling up with water, doesn't take in on water from anywhere. Looks really good. Checking our through holes, make sure that nothing's going to come back up through the drain. Make sure that the hose clamps are all still on good, nice and tight. Nothing's leaking out of there. And the front through holes are good too as well. No water, no moisture, no nothing. So yeah, we are good to go.
Well, I'm gonna let everybody YouTube station. Any type of radio.
So since we haven't run her in a while, that's what we're gonna do. These guys are the bomb, man. I heard this guy's rookie of the year, so.
Slow it down right here, Vic, so hold it.
Gonna tie us up and slow us down. Nice and easy. Sweet, got our bumpers out. And then once we get tied up, we'll go through. We'll double check our batteries and get our engine fired up.
Alrighty.
All right, here we are.
Oh yeah.
Thanks to these guys, man.
Alrighty.
If you ever come here, definitely need to drop off a 6-pack or a 12-pack for these guys. We're gonna find out what kind they like, and then so any of y'all come here, you'll be able to hook them up with some beer, show these guys some appreciation. You know, appreciation goes a long way, man. These guys work really hard in this yard, and they do a really great job of taking care of the boats, making sure everything's handled properly, everybody's safe, and nothing gets damaged or nothing gets hurt. So here we are, tied back up at the slip. Madeline's over there talking to some people. Imagine that. she's trying not to look at the boat. She's trying not to watch it. So we'll be cleaning the child off, pumping it up, and here she is. She's back at home in the water. Here she comes. She floats, baby.
How you doing? You're so dirty, girl.
I know. It's gonna be so cool to finally give her a bath and wash her off, get all these leaves off of her, all my muddy feet print from over the top on deck, and just get her clean.
Well, it's gonna rain, so maybe we should take advantage of that and wait till it rains, and then we can
Finish it up afterwards.
finish it up. Yeah.
She's home back in the water. Oh my God.
I've been standing on the edge of the water. What? No.
Yeah, no, keep going. She usually does that on the bow when we're hitting seas. So today I'm cleaning out the child because he is thoroughly nasty. I already hosed it down with bleach, and now I'm just gonna clean it all off because yeah, it looks disgusting. So try to get all of this stuff off and get him all cleaned up so that we can get him back in the water today. All right, now that is what a clean dinghy is supposed to look like. So let's get him in the water, make sure he doesn't have any leaks, and then we're gonna work on getting the outboard on there so that we can go ahead and get that off. The locks were kind of stiff and they didn't really look corroded or rusted. It hasn't been that long, but I just soaked them in some PB Blast and let's see what happens. It usually works pretty well, so just let it set for a little bit, have a little bit of patience, and we will be good. Well, I'm gonna get this up, down in the water, take it from there. So Madeline had to go and help our son get some stuff done last minute so that we could get the van to him today, because today is the last day we had the van, and she's doing a last minute parts run for some things that we just forgot last minute. And yeah, but I don't have the time or the luxury or the money to stay here a couple extra days for all of that, so I had to keep going. So that's why I went ahead and did the sails myself. And luckily we had done them enough times to where I was able to do it by myself and it wasn't that big of a deal. Took me a little bit of time, but that's only because I'm just trying to be safe and I don't want to tear anything or break anything, because God knows I just don't want to have to repair anything else. But I need to get the outboard back on the child, so I can go ahead and get that back up and running, because that's on my list that I have to get done today so that I can help Madeline get everything organized in there. Once we get it organized, we'll be able to go ahead and move back in and stuff like that. So we're not going to really have, we're going to be sleeping uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable and hot in the summer in Florida with mosquitoes, not a good idea. So luckily that barnacle buster I ran through the AC worked great. So she is a flowing. So that was one of the pre-maintenance things that I did before we put it back in the water. It was a great suggestion from All Things Sailing Facebook group. So I just heard a bunch of other people talking about it, so I tried it and holy crap, it worked. So I'm gonna go ahead and be creative and use the lever system that I used for the dinghy to get the motor back onto the child. So hopefully I won't drop the motor, and I'm just gonna be doing it slow and safe so that so I won't hurt myself or hurt the dinghy or lose the motor. So I'm just gonna take my time. So it's may look horrible, may look like I really know what I'm doing. So let's see which one it is. Yay for not breaking things or hurting myself. So today is moving day, or moving back into the boat day. So we are taking everything out of the van over here. Madeline's going through everything, and then we're gonna start taking and putting stuff all in here. So we have plenty of space to stage things, and something we won't see again for a while is an empty 3/4 berth. Madeline's gonna have her hands full with all the organizing and labeling and inventory and all of this and that. I'm just gonna be putting up sails and stuff like that, just knocking it out and getting it done. So yeah, should be for a long but yet easy day. All right, so we got everything in here now. So the V-berth is obviously full, but most of that stuff goes underneath the V-berth. And then we have all of this, which is all of our provisions. And stuff to put away. Essentially, after we do all that, we should be ready to go by tomorrow. So it'll be nice. It's gonna be real nice. Story of our lives. Of course, the outboard's sitting there, and guess what it's time to do? Yep, be rebuilding this again. Well, not rebuilding it, but taking it apart, cleaning it out and everything. I would say this about the Taihatsu, man. It runs great, and it's dependable, but you get bad fuel, or if you let it set for more than a couple weeks, you're gonna have problems. So I'm getting quite used to taking this apart now at this point, and it usually only takes me about 20-30 minutes, and then I'll put it back in, put some fuel back in it, and see how it goes. 20-30 minutes later, there we go. We're all back together and we're back running. It's just something that I've gotten used to having with this engine. So I'm gonna go out and stretch his legs a little bit, let him blow out some of the crap in there, and yeah, I guess everything you own has its own little quirk. This is its little quirk. I'm just glad that it's something that's more of a nuisance than an actual problem, and it doesn't cost us any money other than a little bit of carburetor cleaner and 20 or 30 minutes of my time. So let's take her out, let's take him out and stretch his legs. All right, so now that we got our outboard all good to go, we'll go out here. It is hot. I can't believe I was out there without my hat on, because holy crap, my neck was on fire. There's our girl. She's looking all pretty and shiny, and she is ready to go. gonna go out here and I'm gonna stretch the child's legs out a little bit and see, make sure this engine's gonna be running all right. So I don't want to find out that it's not running okay when it's too late, when I actually need it later. So it would suck to have to row to shore, but it is what it is. And yeah, no power boaters. So let's take it up and see how he does. Much better.